Today on the podcast, I am talking to my gym partner, one of my best friends, super mum of four and aesthetics expert, Casey Dean. Welcome to the podcast, Kay. Finally, we are bringing our conversations to the podcast. I promised when I started this, Fitting Unfiltered, that we were going to try and keep the conversations as open and relatable and real as possible. And I can't actually count the amount of times that we've had a conversation in the gym or just on a voice note or on a walk, when we need to record this, we need to share this, like how many women are also struggling with this or would also relate to this. So we decided to put a date in the diary and finally record
Finally, were you?
a conversation. But I also want to pick your brains today about all things aesthetics.
Okay.
Because like a lot of the women that tune in, I am 42 and we need the scoop. We need the scoop on what's working. What do we need to be buying into? Like, how do we take care of our skin? And like, we want it all, don't we? We want the body, we want the energy. We also want our skin to look a certain way. And so,
Yeah, I feel like, unfortunately, aging is inevitable. And that is something that I tell all my clients. Aging's inevitable. Aging well is something that we can control. So, I've got 60-year-old clients who don't want to look 20. They want to look a good 60. And that's kind of the aim of the game. So it's just about making you feel the best you can for the age that you are.
So for anybody that doesn't know Katie now, we kind of like skip the introduction there, so we'll come back to it.
Yeah.
This is a bit of a full circle moment for me and Kay because we've known each other for over 10 years. I'll go into that story in a minute, but about 12 months ago, we were having a conversation in the gym and I was saying, I want to start a podcast. And Katie was saying, well, I want to leave my current job and open my own business. And now here we are on my podcast talking about your business. But Katie is very much, and this is why we get on so well, she's very much about health first. And so even as an aesthetics practitioner, Kay, you're health driven, aren't you?
Yes, I think most people who probably land on my page are probably a bit like, what's going on here? Like, is she lip filler? Is she fitness? That sort of thing. But the thing I try and advocate is a healthy lifestyle will radiate on the outside as well. So think about what's going on the inside and then think about what's going on the outside. Because I always say you can have all the injectable treatments in the world, but if you are not looking after yourself on the inside, it's going to show up. It's going to age you. It's going to show up and you're not going to look and feel the best that you can for your age.
So I'll share a little bit first just to go back of how we met and how we which just blows my mind. So Katie and I used to work with the same personal trainer. I'm actually going back plus 10 years, 12 years this year. So we used to work with the same personal trainer. He would always say to me, you need to meet my other client, Katie. And he'd always say to Katie, you need to meet Nick. And then we figured out, didn't we, that we were doing the same workouts.
Yeah.
So then just over the course of time, we eventually met. We were almost getting pitted against each other, were we, at that moment in time? Because
we were like competing.
Yeah, we were doing the same style of workouts and we were doing them for time at that moment in time. And then we started training together. This is the brilliance of and our personal trainer, we're still friendly with him now from back in the day. Lovely guy. And it wasn't half a way that he was trying to pit us against each other, but we were very much like, no, we're not going to do that. We are actually going to train together and come out the other side. And honestly, the rest is history. We've had kids and everything else.
5 babies between us since then, I think.
Yeah. Because you've got Lewis and you already had Lewis. Give us a little bit of background.
I've got 4 children that you might mention before, aging from 15 to 2. So I've been a young mom and I've been a more mature mom, shall we say. So I'm a registered nurse, and up until about last July, was it? I left my role to run my aesthetics clinic full time. So when I was in the hospital, I was doing aesthetics alongside it. And now I just do that full time, which I absolutely love. I just love being my own boss. It was actually you gave me a conversation in the gym and were like, just do it. You won't look back. Just do it. Just do it. And I was like, oh, really nervous about it. And yeah, I've just never looked back. You're like my little motivational.
Honestly, I can't even say this enough. This is what Thriving Women is about, though. It's the power of when women come together and encourage each other. We don't spend time in negative energy, or don't get me wrong, we'll go through our list of ailments and all of the things
on a
daily basis, but we're also each other's biggest cheerleaders. And I think that's so important to have. And it's who you get yourself around, isn't it? And our catch-ups at 6 a.m. in the morning, it's not as if we've got extra hours in the day where we're meeting for cocktails or doing any of that stuff. We're literally meeting up at 6 a.m. But I literally remember that conversation of you being like, I really want to do it, but I don't want to put myself out there. And then
I've got the kids, like, but then you were like, you will just give 100% to it. At the minute, you can't give 100%. And it has, and it's just, I've had my busiest month last month that I've ever had in my business. And, that's February, that's like following on from Christmas where you think you'd be quieter. It's been so good. And I've got some lovely clients now, but new clients, old clients, like, and yeah, it's just going so well. So thank you. I do owe you for that, because I don't think if that conversation had ever happened, then I would have took the leap at that time. Some things are just meant to be, aren't they?
yeah, I think like, so one of the reasons that I really want to have a conversation with you though, and I've always said this to you, and I know that you won't take the compliment, but so Katie is a mum of 4. She's a mum of 4 and she keeps herself fit. She prioritizes health. She prioritizes good nutrition for the kids, for the whole family. Like, and I won't go into it because you can tell your own backstory, but you've along the way, like, haven't been plain sailing. And you've always, you've always come back to health. And honestly, I can't tell you how much, like, as a friend, but also just as another woman looking from the outside in, it's like, you are so inspiring and I don't think you realise it.
Oh, that makes me feel yeah, so I haven't actually always come from like a sporty fitness background. Like, if you knew me when I was younger, I was very disordered eating as a teenager. Like, I didn't used to eat very much, and I was a bit of a party girl, and I used to smoke, which is just wild now thinking about like the lifestyle that I lived. And then I had my eldest child at 21, and then everything just changed from then. Like, obviously I stopped smoking when I was pregnant. And then after I had the baby, I do find when you've got kids, sometimes it can be, you're more disciplined because you have only got that hour, and you have only got that time to yourself. And when you literally have children 24/7, having that hour to yourself is really important, isn't it? So I just started when Lewis was a baby, and it was silly things like Zumba and, just things that were like fun. And people always ask me, like, oh, where do I start? And I'm like, find something you like, because the rest will just stem from there. Just find something,
100%.
there's no point going to a spin class if you are absolutely hating it because you just about hate exercise. So,
Yeah.
like for me, Zumba was a laugh. Like, we were laughing while we were doing it. And then I remember going to like a step aerobics class one time, and there was all these oldies there, and I was like, well, look at me with all, and they were flying, and I fell off my box and spilled my water bottle. It was dead embarrassing. So like, just keeping it fun. And then obviously got the PT like that you got, and then started introducing macros and protein, and it kind of just escalated from there, my fitness journey. But then once you're on it and you realize how good you can feel, I don't think there's any going back. Like, for example, this Christmas, I've, let the diet slip a bit and just been a bit, ugh, and got back to it this January because I knew that wasn't the norm. And the fact that there are some people living there out there that feel like that is a normal way of living, if they could just make a sort of transition and realize how good you can feel, they would just never look back.
We had this conversation quite a lot, don't we? Because I think, like, once you understand how you're going to feel on the other side of getting that session,
Yeah.
and once it moves away from being about skinny as well, which I know is like mentally so tough for so many women at the moment because of the whole skinny injections, and we can come on to that. But I think for you and I, like, when we first started training together, it was more about aesthetics. We were young. Like, I was in my, very early 30s. You were still in your 20s.
Yeah.
And I'm now going to be 43 next month. Like, I'm in a whole other decade. And it's just no longer about being skinny. It's about feeling a certain way. And so I will get up and go to the gym at 6.
We went this morning, and we were like, so glad we've done that. But like, people looking at us would be like, how do they get up and go to the gym at 6? I'm having this with my 15-year-old at the minute. I'm really trying to get him into this. And he does thank me after, but because he hasn't had the full benefit of it yet, he doesn't grasp like how good you can really feel. Obviously he's at the stage of struggling through it and just muddling through it kind of thing. But I just think once you get to that place, like you say, where it's not about aesthetics, because I feel like if you train for aesthetics, are you ever going to be happy? Is there always going to be something else you can change? Whereas when you're training for like your fitness and your well-being, like, I've come away from that session this morning not thinking, has it made me skinnier? I'm like, I feel good now. I can attack the day. I've got, I'm just in a better mood. Like, I'm just in such a better mood for it. And I just think until you experience that, like, over a period of time, it's hard, isn't it? It's hard to get that message across.
Yeah. So, I mean, my first question was going to be, aesthetics aside, what does looking after yourself actually look like for you now as a woman who, should we say, late 30s?
I am late, I'm 38 this year.
Yeah.
Late 30s, I am. Yeah.
I feel like it's late anything. There was always.
I am in my late 30s. I've accepted it. It is what it is. To me, looking after myself has been saying no to things that don't necessarily align with where I want and who I want to be. So, since Christmas, I said yes to a lot of things that necessarily didn't align. And which is fine. It was a lovely December. I had an amazing Christmas. Like, I wouldn't change a thing. But then obviously come January, it's just, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to drink. Like, people have asked me to do this, that, and I'm like, no, I'm okay. I'll leave it, because to me, getting up and going to the gym and feeling better is more important to me and more aligned with where the goal that I want to be.
I think this is where we need to spill the beans a little bit though and give some insights into our conversations, because the whole reason that you have that hindsight is because you get to this stage and you get to January and you realise that, like, oh, it's going to take more than a quick overnight week of hitting me steps and going to bed early. Like, we have this conversation that we all of the time about how different it is now, even to just maintain how we used to look, feel, be able to perform, recover.
The difference is like, so I come from like a bit of a CrossFit background, so very high intensity, lots of strain on the body. And I've just noticed, like, I felt like before Christmas, I was training harder than I've ever trained. And I was looking in the mirror and I was like, I'm just so like bloated and like I just wasn't feeling good. And so after Christmas, I was like, right, I'm going to lower the intensity of my workout. It's a completely different way of training for me. So mentally, this was really hard. And I just lowered the intensity of my workout. Obviously, was hitting my protein. I don't normally eat breakfast. I was making myself eat breakfast, like a high protein breakfast. And my body composition and the way I felt, like I was full. I was sleeping better. Like, my body composition changed, like I've shared before and after, said now on my page. Of just after like 13 days of doing it, it was like mental. But previously in my 20s, I'd have been like, I'm not doing that.
I'm so glad that you've just touched on that though, because I think every woman, we get to a certain age and like it's different for everyone. But I would say, I normally say 38 on, or sort of like 30, 36, 37, 38 onwards is sort of the point where you battle with yourself for long enough where you're like, why is what I always done no longer work?
Yeah.
You keep doing it.
What was it wrong?
Yeah, like you just keep doing the same thing, banging your head against the wall until you finally realise, like, okay, damn it, I've got to change something here. And like sometimes, if like you love to train hard. And I have this conversation with so many women, like toning it down a bit, like removing so much HIIT training, prioritising sleep, getting some breakfast in instead of trying to fast. And
Yeah. I love to fast.
prioritising the strength. Yeah, and it's like, wow, I'm having to flip so much of what I used to do on its head here. And it's a process because you've got to go through it to get the outcome so you don't get this instant gratification. And it is a process, but I think the more of us are talking about this, the better, because otherwise you're struggling on your own, feeling like, well, I'm losing control of my body here. I'm gaining weight in places I've never struggled with. The scales are going up and biologically we're changing because we feel mentally like we're still 21. It's so hard to get your head around.
So coming like me and you in the gym now, we'll be like, we'll just have like an easy session, but it wasn't an easy session, was it? Do you know what I mean? So to us, it would be like, oh, well, we just did that for 40 minutes instead of an hour, but it was really high intensity, or, like we just underestimate how much stress we put on our body under. And then we do like our strength sessions now, don't we? And we're like, didn't really feel like we worked that hard, but then the next day, like, no, we really did. And we feel really good for it, don't we now? And it's just a completely different way of training. It's training your mind, I think, to completely flip everything you've ever known when it comes to exercise, like fasting and high intensity and this and running all the time, doing it, whatever, to then be like, I'm going to get strength it's not where I get my kicks. Do you know what I mean? It's not. But obviously that is now what I'm trying to prioritise going into my 40s, because I know physically for my health, it's going to be the best thing.
I think without realising it, we always have done strength training, but our version of strength training has changed and evolved. Like last year, we went into the gym. We don't always train together, by the way, for anyone who's listening. We can go weeks without training together, but we've found a groove by which if we can align our sessions, it's definitely beneficial. But we went to the gym on Friday and I think we done 4 exercises max. And 2 of them, believe it or not, were body weight only. I mean, they were quite challenging body weight exercises. We were trying to train our quads at length, which I don't even know how to give a synopsis on what that would be. But anyway.
It was the hamstring one, Nick.
And the hamstrings, yeah. So getting into a glute bridge, but then trying to explode off the floor onto a box. with your hamstrings. And like, anyway, we probably need to take a video of this to articulate it a bit better.
Yeah.
But we done 4 exercises. And at the end of it, it was like, bear in mind, there was barely any calories burned. There was no major intensity. Both of us messaged on the other side and we're like, God, I feel good after that workout.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, we would not have even have classed that as a workout even 6-12 months ago. But it's leaning into like, okay, I just need to keep getting uncomfortable with the stuff that I know is saving my best self. And that's what it all is. Health and fitness, I think it's constantly keeping yourself in a level of discomfort so that it continues to progress.
Yeah, and I think for me, the big one has been lowering the cortisol. So obviously, I don't feel like I've had a good session unless I'm leaving the gym dripping in sweat, can barely walk. One of them where you're just like, I'm dying at the end of it. So usually we actually throw a finisher on the end of that or, something like that. But it's trying to have the discipline to say, no, that was the workout. And I felt great for it. I felt so good for it. Like my body felt good. Like you don't always have to be in absolute agony the next day or as you're leaving the gym.
Our stress tolerance just shifts and it does feel as though it happens overnight. And so again, it's not tangible. We can't see it. I mean, we can if we look at our Whoop, but we just can't tolerate the stress that we could previously and then go about our day in the same way. Like it's going to show up in weight gain or inflammation or feelings of like just feeling dysregulated. And
I notice it around myself. If I'm doing too much high intensity, I notice like you think, oh, she's smashing it. Like she must feel super. I don't. I feel really bloated around my tummy. Like I hold that weight there. Which again is just, it's counterproductive to where I want to be. So I'm just trying to switch my brain off. And obviously having you doing it as well at the same time is great because would I have gone to the gym on last Friday and done those rehabby type things on my own? No, or I probably would have went on the Stairmaster for half an hour at the end of it just to get that little sweat on or, that sort of thing. So I think having a training partner as well is really, really useful.
And we'll move on to aesthetics now, but I think like looking from the outside in as well, it's not putting so much pressure on each individual workout to be groundbreaking. Like it's zooming out, looking at the bigger picture and going, okay, so this time by the summer, I want to be able to look, feel this way. So these rehab sessions or these slower intensity sessions have got to happen as part of the bigger picture. Like we can still go again the next session and ramp it up a notch. But it's like, for anyone who's listening who feels like the pressure for every single session to have to be your best and you leave everything in there and you're sweating cobs and it's not productive, it's working against you.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard because you see other girls in the gym that it's working for them, but they're in different stage and their hormones, their life. And you're like, I was like that, what? It's just changing up. And I'm quite enjoying this new. Now I've got into it, I'm enjoying it. I'm like, do you know what? If I've got 40 minutes, I go to the gym at the bottom of the road and I'm like, just do 40 minutes strength, upper body, done. And I'm like, normally I'd have to spend an hour and a half, do it. And yeah, I'm quite enjoying it now. Now I've got my head around it. It's just different.
Do you find it easier to sustain your diet when you're training in a more like strength focused way rather than smashing the hit and the...
Yeah, because I feel like those hour long hit sessions, they do make you hungry, don't they? They do make, and I don't always eat the right things. So this is what another thing that was focusing on was get that protein in first thing, because if I don't, so what I was guilty of before Christmas, I would fast till 12, train at 6 a.m, fast till 12, go to work, not have lunch, and then I'd be like, oh, I'll just eat whatever, I'll just eat them chocolates because I'm in a calorie deficit and I can, and it just was making me feel like crap. Like I was just not feeling good for it at all. So, and really trying to prioritize getting that protein in first thing. And like you noticed, didn't you, with your stress levels and your strain, that it was bringing that right down when you were having something to eat after a session like that.
100%. So I always like to fast in the morning, like not around menstrual cycle, but anything outside the menstrual cycle. I was quite enjoying the benefits of fasting.
Yeah.
And it has been like a wake up call for me that like, oh, my body is no longer accepting of that. And I will still fast from time to time, but I will make sure that I'm in like a very low stress state. So if I'm working out, like I've got home this morning and I've eaten as soon as I've got in, or like I have a protein shake basically. But it's like, because if I don't, I get back from the school run and it's like I've missed that window.
Yeah. And then you're absolutely starving, like just get whatever in. Whereas
And it just backfires because any muscle that I am trying to retain or build it's just getting burned through. Like your body's just not going to dig into fat stores the way it did. Even like 5 years ago, even like a couple of years ago, it's like everything has just changed. And I said this to clients recently, it's not through lack of trying or discipline or laziness. It's genuinely like just the plan needs to change. The strategy needs to
You
change.
need to change your strategy. So, like, you know, to have all the motivation, the discipline and all that, but if you're not training to what your body needs for your periods of life, like it's just so different. And I think until you get to that age, like you always think you're gonna be invincible, don't you? And you're always like, no, I'll be fine. I've been training like this. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, this doesn't work. And I think it's hard mentally to get your head round because it's a bit like, oh, my body is changing. I am getting a bit older.
So here's a skin question then that I wasn't going to ask, but I'm interested to know for myself also.
Okay.
So what do you put on your skin for the gym? Like if you're getting up and you're going to the gym 6 a.m., what are we putting on the skin?
So at the minute, just a moisturiser.
Anything particular?
So
Like are we talking just a cheap and cheerful Neutrogena or
just like an Aveeno. I love Aveeno. I'll use Aveeno for all of my body
Yeah,
and my scents and everything. Like I do love Aveeno. Depending on the time though, at the minute I'm love as well. But this is again like a thick one. So if I was due on, necessarily wouldn't be using this on my face. But skin foods, I love that. So it depends. If you've got like that. Love it. I love the smell, but I like the really thick, like intense
like
ones.
the mask.
Yeah. So I love that. I know, do you know what as well? Sometimes I've been putting it on as my makeup and it's been like holding my makeup on. I know some people don't like that, like thick, but I think my skin's more on the dry side than oily. So obviously if you've got oily skin, but yeah, it just depends to like where you're at in your cycle. I mean, I'd probably suggest not putting anything on because your pores are just going to get clogged with it, aren't they? But I like to have like a little something. I feel a bit naked if I don't have anything on my face.
Yeah, anybody who knows me on a personal level might know that I am my own biggest critic. And every time I'm in the gym and I'm stood next to Kate because she's absolutely beautiful. And I've got to say, and I'm going to say this, hands on my heart, she's an aesthetics nurse. She's always been this gorgeous, like you have. She's always had gorgeous skin, always be beautiful. Like she's not to be judgy, but you know, we see women in the aesthetics world and it's hard to know what's real, you know, when it's a complete overhaul. This is not Katie. But I'm interested to know, obviously, you know all of my little pet peeves. What do you think the majority of women are coming to you wanting now? What are you seeing like the biggest struggle?
So for me and the clients that I get, so I don't get like young 20-year-old girls coming to me who want like the new jawline or, you know, the chin or whatever. Like I do jawlines and chins, but it's purely like an enhancement. I'm not giving anyone like a different shaped face, if that makes sense.
I'm blown by that whole trend, by the way.
Trans aesthetics. I'm not into trans aesthetics. That's all I'm into. I'm going to say this word because I can't say regenerative. I've just said it. Regenerative aesthetics. That's what my vibe is. So most people come to me, the first place that they start to notice is here. It's the nasolabials, which is the nose to mouth lines, and it's the mouth to chin. It's kind of that area here. And obviously, as we age, like everything changes, our muscles change in our face, our fat pads drop and things. So that's I would say that's the main area that women come to me. Obviously, you've got your forehead, which everyone gets a bit of Botox. Like I've got so many. That's my most popular treatment.
Is it?
But in terms of because that's more like preventative as well. So people come to me who don't have the wrinkles. They don't want to get the wrinkles. Do you know what I mean? So once you've already got your wrinkles in your forehead, Botox will soften it over time, but it's not gonna treat it because it's relaxing the muscles that cause them. But if them lines are there and they're static lines, then that's not necessarily going to work. But obviously the face, the lower face, the skin laxity and things. So there's treatments like polylactic acids and things, which is like that is like a biostimulatory treatment. So that promotes your body to produce its own collagen, which I just love. I just
What
rave
was
on
that called? Do I like thick
acids. You would have no, you're not having it. You haven't changed since I met you 1,000 years ago.
This is I know, but the jowls. Like honestly, I'm really trying to embrace the natural aging. And here's the absolute truth. Right. I look in the mirror and I think, yeah, do you know what? Like I'm not overanalyzing it. I'm quickly getting changed in the morning and walk out the door. I'm not overanalyzing it. It's when I look on a photograph. It's whenever I see myself on a photograph and I'm like, wow, God, my eyes look old or
you see yourself on a photograph with younger people and you're like,
the skin around my like lower like jawline. I'm like,
That's
am I
amazing.
oblivious to this? Like, I will say to Mark, babe, am I looking old? And he obviously like, no, he knows not to comment. But at the same time, he will say, wait, if you feel like you need to go and get something done, just go and get it. And I'm thinking, oh, that's a subtle hint.
No, it's Nick, you honestly look amazing. Like I say
So
to you all the time, you do. And you know what you said, you're 43 next month. Like you look unreal. I'm talking like people come to me with like really heavy, gels and these
but what
lines.
do you recommend it for that?
So you can go down the fillers route. I prefer doing the polylactic acids now. Again, like I said, it's regenerative. It was basically originally a treatment for HIV patients who had, what's the word I'm looking for? Facial loss. But
Yeah.
the treatments that they were on, the HIV patients. So they were giving them this treatment. And it is basically crushed up sutures in a jar that they realized when they were putting these sutures in people that collagen was forming around them. So they used it as a medical treatment for the patients with HIV, and then aesthetics got hold of it because obviously it builds in collagen and it's your own collagen. So then what happens is the sutures, well, they're all crushed up and they just get drained out your system. Then it's your collagen that you're left with in your face. So to me, it's just a more natural way of treating those areas rather than just putting filler in, because what you can have as well with filler is it can make the area heavier. So if you've already got heaviness there and you're adding like volume to it,
Mm.
you've got to think, is that going to make that area heavier? So you can treat up here with hyaluronic acid fillers and give the structure that's lost.
So I think this is what's probably a little bit dangerous though, isn't it? Is that not every aesthetic nurse is going to tell you that. You will go to some aesthetics nurses, I'm sure, and because we all know people who've done it, and you go in and you ask for a treatment that you've seen online or you've seen somebody else recommend, and they just give you it without, well, you'll know better than I do on this one, but without maybe, this is what scares me, and I feel quite lucky because I've got you and you just always tell me, no, you don't need anything. But how many aesthetic nurses would you go to who would say, yeah, okay, that's what you're asking for and that's what I'm going to give you? And it's like, but we actually, as the patients or whatever you would refer to us as, do we really know what we're asking for? Because unless you're somebody who does your research into it, like the treatment that you've just recommended, I've never even heard of.
Yeah, I think if you look on someone's page and you see their educational posts about, so I see quite a lot of educational posts, some of them talking, some of them you just read, some of them comparisons, like, there's no right or wrong treatments, there's no good or bad, but there's treatments that would be better specifically for you. But so I normally offer a consultation with my clients first, and then we assess the face and could be like, right, okay, well, I think hyaluronic acid fillers would work there. However, if you've got skin laxity, then I'd probably go polylactic acid and build some structure. Yeah, just depends. So obviously hyaluronic acid fillers can be dissolved, polylactic acid can't. So there's pros and cons to both.
Yeah.
And you've got to think of cost and how long are these treatments lasting? What is it that's gone on your face? Is it your skin's gone less? Is it that you need some structure underneath? Has your facial structure changed? So like a hyaluronic acid filler might work better in providing that structure. It honestly just depends from client to client, but it's obviously just finding a practitioner who understands like an aging facial anatomy and can assess you and based on that and then give you the recommendations to go home with. Like I don't put any pressure on my clients. I'm like, you come to me when you're ready. Like I'm not like sell, if you know what I mean. So if someone's unsure, I'll always send them away. But like, you come back when you have a think about it. There's the information because
It's tough, isn't it, being a woman? Because
it is.
we're constantly like, we're on here and we're talking about, making sure that we get in bed at a decent hour and reducing alcohol. Like Katie and I, again, for anyone who's listening, we have these conversations all the time about how now getting in bed at a decent hour, reducing alcohol, not eating any food that's at our last meal of the day, like all of these little things that probably seem quite extreme to the majority who are just winging it. It's like, but you also need to be factoring in all of that too. Because the aesthetics is only going to enhance the foundations, I imagine. Or you're going to get a better result, I would imagine.
Yeah, so that's obviously another thing that I promote on my page is like anti-aging starts on the inside. Like it does. You can't expect to look radiant if you are drinking 3 times a week heavily, smoking, you're not doing any exercise, you're not getting out, you're not getting any fresh air, you're in the office 5 days a week, you're not sleeping, you're gonna look like you do all them things.
Jump on you.
So there's only so far that aesthetics treatments are going to take you. And then, you look at celebrities, a lot of them have had surgery as well that they don't disclose. So there's that. And they have probably having all the supplements. They've probably got the chefs and, like your Kylie Jenners and your Kim Kardashians.
This is the thing, isn't it? Is it like, because we're exposed to so much online, it's like, how do I just, and this is what I love about you as a practitioner, is that you are just there to enhance a woman's natural beauty rather than, like, I always remember someone saying to me a while ago about the Kylie Jenner effect. I don't know if it's referred to that in your domain, but it was an aesthetics nurse, and she just said to me, basically, obviously we all saw Kylie Jenner. Well, any of us who watch Kardashians, that used to be my full-on guilty pleasure. And she just morphed into this complete different thing herself. And obviously she grew up, but she just became addicted to treatments. You could just tell. And the aesthetics nurse said to me, what it is, you'll come into a treatment, you'll get really comfortable with how that looks, and then you'll just want more, and then you'll get comfortable with how that looks. And she likened it
called filler blindness. I call it filler blindness. Like, I had someone come to me the other day and she was like, I've got a little bit more on my chin. I was like, you've got filler blindness. So I took pictures at the side. I was like, look, if I bring your chin out here, this is how it's going to look. I was like showing her, and I was like, and then I did a post on it. As it happened, she actually just needed a little bit more lip filler to project her lip so that it was in line with the nose and chin. So she came to me, because she had a bit of a receding chin before, she always thinks I need more chin, but she's just gotten used to that chin, and she's getting married. And I was like, no, you are going to look amazing on your Wednesday, and we're not putting any chin filler. So, somebody else might have just gone, yeah, pay me, I'll do the chin, but I was just like, no. I was like, what do you want me to do to this chin? Like, and it's filler blindness. People get it with the lips. So, I mean, I've had my own friends ask me to do the lips, and I've said no, and they've had to go to someone else. But I was like, are you cheating on me? And she was like, you said no to me. And I was like, I did, to be fair. And I said to her, Mum, I'm not going to put it. Because to me, she didn't need it. And like, if I put more in her lips, that's a reflection of my work. And that's not what
you're about.
Yeah. It's just not my look. And I'm not just going to do it because someone's asked me to. There are practitioners that will do that, and that's fine. You can go to them. But in terms of me and my morals and things, like, I've got a daughter, and I'm just like, I don't even want to get anything done, ever. She's just so beautiful.
I think going back though to what you just said about, like, because it all comes back to comparison, doesn't it? Like, what we're comparing ourselves to. Like, very few of us, I mean, I don't think I've ever met anyone, and I know I really struggle with this. We struggle to just stay in our own lane as much as we really want to. You cannot help. You can't help but looking, whether it's a skinny pen or injectables or I don't know, needing to go to the gym in a matching gym set. And like, feeling shamed because they go into the gym and they don't like look a certain way or they're dressed a certain way. And it's just because we're just exposed to what everyone else is doing all of the time. And so with aesthetics, I feel like it can be really dangerous because the other thing is, and I don't know whether you see this, but I definitely have had these conversations, is that like women are looking to aesthetics to improve overall confidence and the other stuff, missing the fact that, okay, well, we probably need to work on a bit of mental resilience, and we probably need to take better care of your diet and set better boundaries and have better self-talk. And that is more the wellness side of it. But it's like the aesthetics can still be a part of your beauty. But it can't be the full story. That's just putting a plastic.
No, and no one wants to age badly. No one even wants to age. Like, and especially in the society that we live in, we do see bloody Kris Jenner at 75 or whatever she is, looking like a thing.
Jenner's on an absolute shout out on this podcast.
They're just like the gold standard of like beauty at the minute. I just resort back to them, but nobody wants to age badly. But that doesn't make you a bad or shallow person. Like, that's just how you feel, and that's absolutely fine. But if you can drill the basics, you are going to age so much better. Like, there's no fancy cure. It is just
it's the same as with
water and hydration. That's a massive one. Also, to get the best out of your aesthetics treatments, hydration. A lot of the treatments are hydrophilic, which means they attract water. So to give you that plump and that lovely hydration, you need to drink water. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. With all the good, you can have as many skin boosters as you want. It's like, but drink your water and you will see the benefits of it. And it's just about thinking, this isn't going to cure me. It's the same with the skinny pen, isn't it? I don't offer the skinny pen. Like, it's not something personally that I think should be used for aesthetic.
Oh, we've had a few good gym rants about this.
Yeah. It's not something personally that I think should be given for aesthetic purposes. There's a lot of people doing backstreet pens and all. It just makes me go, oh my gosh. And don't get me wrong, I've got family members on it for medical reasons, and it's been absolutely life-changing for them medically, and, not slating anybody on it. it's so tempting. And I'll be honest with you, Nick, around about Christmas when I was feeling really rubbish, was I tempted to go on it? Yeah, I was like, this just isn't working for me anymore. Like, I'm looking at my body, I'm training hard. Do I need to get on this pen? Like,
Yeah, this is the really scary thing about it though, is that even women who, like yourself, take really good care of yourself, but you start to notice that like my body's changing and
Mhm.
you feel like you've lost the reins a little bit. Like that lack of feeling like we're in control is really scary because
Yeah.
you don't know the next move to make. And we do feel like we've got to uphold these standards at all times. It's so hard to just be your authentic self and rock up and be like, do you know what? Yeah, I'm having a bad skin day, or I've put a bit of weight on, or like whatever it might be. And because there's so many quick fixes, and it's really sad because you've known deep down, and I knew deep down, you're never going to go on it. Bloody
No, but what I tempted to
course you're not.
crossed my mind,
But
and I was like,
at some
no, it's
point,
not.
yeah, but it's scary, isn't it? It's because the trend now is skinny. The trend in 10 years will be osteoporosis. It just will. Like there will
And
be
that's what I'm saying. If they're not drilling the
such an
basics
epidemic.
of hydration and nutrition and they're taking the pen, then where is that going to leave them? Like, you need to have the basics, don't you? You need to have the basics. You need to be drinking. You need to be hitting your protein. You need to be weight training, your resistance training. You need all those things to live healthy. And unfortunately, now, I mean, there's this new skinny era coming out, isn't it? And a lot of people are just more, they feel more pressured to look a certain way rather than to feel a certain way. And I think that's,
I think never have I ever wanted to rock up in a bikini on the beach and look strong AF. Like, honestly, I want to be that mum with muscles. And at this point, I couldn't really care less if it's deemed socially normal or attractive. And
Yeah.
I want my kids to see with muscles as well. I don't want them to see me looking
emaciated.
skinny or perfect or any of these other things that people are striving for. Me personally, and this is just my own personal, if I see another woman who has got muscle, I'm like, oh, girl, you look great. Like that shows a level of discipline. Like, that can't be fast tracked. That there's no fast track. She is taking care of herself. She's listed probably for many years to get to this point. And it's like, it's the whole thing about instant gratification, but this is like on a broader scale, is that the work that you put in now, whether it's taking good care of your skin, lifting the weights, like the gratification for that is going to come years down the line.
Yeah.
But we don't want that. We want the result now. And it's probably the same in aesthetics. There is no quick fix to get you to where you want to be.
Another interesting fact that's coming out now is that the Manjaro pen can make your Botox wear off faster. So there's one thing to note, ladies, if you're
Really?
yeah, apparently so. Just because of the way you metabolize it. I don't know what studies have been done. It was actually my prescriber who said this to me the other day, and she was like, one of my clients said, "Oh, I'm on Manjaro, so it might just wear off a bit faster." And I was like, "Cool."
And what about for us gym girlies? Like, it definitely has been known. It's known to wear off faster, isn't
So-
it?
It's obviously everybody's different. Most of my clients get about 4 months out of it. It starts to decline between 6 to 8 weeks. So people think, oh, it's wearing off, and it is wearing off. It hasn't worn off. It's wearing off, and that's completely normal. Like, you'll start getting some movement back and whatever. But if you are active, you're out running all the time, you're training all the time, you've just got a very high metabolism, then yeah, it does wear off a bit faster.
Okay, let's go through some myths and honest advice, because I feel like we could just talk all day. We actually haven't even got into half of what we said we were going to talk about today. I actually wanted to go down a rabbit hole with just how you even managed to uphold your fitness routine with 4 kids. I'm gonna come on to this before we move on to myths and honest advice. Okay, share some wisdom on this one, because mum guilt for you must be real. Like, you've got. So how old are your youngest two? Just for
So my
everyone.
youngest two is 3 and 2, so they've got 15 months between them, which has been a wild ride in my late 30s.
How do you get past mum guilt, and what would you say to anybody who just really struggles with prioritizing themselves because we've got kids?
It's hard because luckily for me, I am a morning person. I'm not an evening person. So I struggle to train at like 8 p.m. or whatever. But for me, I am a better mum when I've got up in the morning and I've had that hour and a half to myself. Like 100% I am. Like I'm so much more patient. I'm so much more present. Like, I'm in a better mood. I can get 1,000,001 things done after I've trained. But if you just wake up and you just feel a bit, so I know And most of the time, you know, I'm back before they're awake. And I do feel so guilty. I feel so guilty that my two youngest are like proper obsessed with me, and I hate the thought of them waking up and me not being there. So I do try and have some mornings where I don't train, you know, first thing.
Yeah.
But I just know that I am a better mum to them for it.
Love that. It's such a selfless thing to do, but it feels
So selfish and
feels
indulgent.
selfish. So it's like a constant internal battle, isn't it? And then second little tip that I think you'd probably be really good to share is, how are you managing then your own nutrition when you have got a 15-year-old boy who can probably eat you through house and home, and then you've got two little ones? Like, the food and the amount of everything must just be constant temptation.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? Like, we don't buy a lot of crap in now. We just don't. My two youngest boys, honestly, I'm not joking, their favourite snack now is the calorie cakes with cottage cheese, extra virgin olive oil, a posh one, and salt and pepper. And they won't have it unless the olive oil is on there and the salt and pepper. They just mimic. I mean, that's not
Yeah.
even a snack that I like. The dad likes that, do you know what I mean? But they just mimic. So if I'm not saying you never have a packet of crisps or whatever, do you know what I mean? But on the whole, they have fruit, they have like the cottage cheese. We just don't buy a lot of rubbish for them. And my kids all like different things, which is another one in itself. So we'll have different versions of the same meal. So I will, on a Sunday, sit and write out all the meals for the week. Then I do the shop online and then just buy loads of eggs or like whatever we have for lunch.
All the other stuff.
Yeah.
You just said something there that is so important, and it's our kids will mimic.
Yeah.
I hear so many women struggle because they're trying to have this amazing willpower from all of the kids' snacks and whatever else it might be. And it's like, no, we're thinking about it the wrong way around.
Mhm.
We're setting them up to follow in our footsteps, really. If you're someone who struggles, but you're buying for your kids what you always got given as a kid, and you weren't shown different options, then they're never going to know any different. Like, they
No.
just get used to what you normalise, don't they?
And my two youngest are in nursery, so they're really good at like introducing like foods to them and things. They just eat what we eat. And I was like, oh, can I have some? Can I have some? They just love what we love. They love like Greek yogurt, fruit, like quite a bit of cheese, that sort of thing. I'm trying to think, they love nuts, like all the things that we staff on. They will staff on. They will sit and have a boiled egg if we have a boiled egg. I mean, your girls are amazing when you put your teas on there on like salmon and stuff. I don't know whether my daughter would be on board with the fish.
It's what you've just said, isn't it? It's understanding that, like, if you just lead, they will follow. And it's the same with the fitness. You prioritising yourself feels selfish, but then we want our kids to know that it's important for them to always prioritise themselves. So
Yeah.
where are they going to get that from if we don't show them?
And also get them involved. My kids now, the two youngest, do the press ups and they call them burpees, but the burpees, squat, we've got them little like 1 or 2 kilogram dumbbells. Like, they just absolutely love getting involved and doing what we're doing. So it's just about like getting them, showing them, because to them it's like a game. Is it just time with mum and dad and like just finding stuff that they enjoy? So that's where I'm at with my 15-year-old now. He's all of a sudden shown an interest in the gym now, mainly for aesthetic purposes, wants to build muscle and all that, which is absolutely fine. But again, because he's seen me doing that his whole life and I've took him to random things, he's never really ever stuck with anything. But I feel like we just joined a gym with him and he's quite interested in the bro stuff. So that's really good.
You know, this is a really important point, actually, because to any boy mums that are listening who, I mean, I'm a sucker for the algorithm knows how to get me, and I'm constantly posting things online about when your kids get to a certain age and they don't want to hang around with you anymore and they want deep conversations and all that. And I'm like, but one thing that they will always look to you for is if you are someone who presents as strong, fit, healthy, that will always be common ground, won't it?
Yeah.
You know, and like, how amazing. I said this to Lewis. This is Katie's eldest. He's 15, he's going to the gym with his mum. And you're actually putting him through his paces. Like, what a position to be in.
He doesn't always like it, I'm not going to lie, especially if there's like younger people in there and he's trying, I'll just lift what you lift. And I'm like, no, babe, no. And he's like, he's ego lifting at the minute, bless him. But that's because he feels like, I think he feels a bit put out by me lifting more than him. It's hard, but I think being a boy mum is so hard. Like,
you know what, there's anyone listening to this who's thinking, yeah, but Katie's just been talking about she's been lifting weights for as long as she can remember. And if you're at the starting point and you're thinking, but you know, I'm a million miles off, you've just got to start.
Yeah, just stop.
Because
And
we've
like I
got
say,
to
just do
get,
something you enjoy. Just do something,
yeah,
even if you enjoy, like, it could be something so random, like, I can't even think. But if you enjoy running, join a running club.
yeah. The longer that we talk ourselves out of it, we're wasting time that we could be spent building ourselves up. Okay, myths and honest advice. So I wanted to get your take on a couple of these. Biggest myth about aesthetics.
I think the biggest myth about aesthetics that I can think off the top of my head is that everybody looks the same and ends up with that pillow face look. So a lot of people are like, oh no, I don't want to get that because I'm going to look like that. And it's like, no, 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 no. Undetectable aesthetics are the ones that you don't notice, you know, like the good aesthetics. You know, I mean, I think I shared the pictures like Michelle Keegan, for example, absolutely stunning, gorgeous. You look at her and think she's a natural beauty. She's definitely adds a little bit of lip filler, a little bit of whatever, like, and if it's undetectable and it's good, you don't notice it. So I think the biggest myth is people think they're going to end up with that like big pillow face kind of all the
This is,
duck lips.
this is where it does make a difference, though, doesn't it, who you go to? Because
Yeah,
you are
and
going
it's
to go
the
to
same way.
yeah. So this was one of my questions, actually. What would make you say no to a client?
A few things I'd say no to a client if I wasn't going to be able to meet their expectations. So if they came to me and said, well, I also had someone message me the other week and she was like, I've got a party in a few weeks and I want this sorted and that. And I was like, it's not going to be sorted in a few weeks. Like, it's, you know, like you're going to have a consultation. We'll discuss a course of treatment, but it's not going to be done by this event. So that was one thing. Age, obviously, if you're under 18, absolutely not. Like that's an absolute no-go. Or if I didn't think you were going to get the outcome from it that you wanted, like I would just recommend something to you for the sake of it. If I think you're going to benefit from it, then yeah. Also, if people come to me with migrated lip filler and they want more lip filler, I would say no. You need to get that dissolved because it's just not going to give you the desired outcome that you need.
So what do you think us women need to be a bit more cautious of in the beauty industry now? I feel like you've maybe already answered it in a roundabout way, but is there anything that you think we need to be cautious of?
With regards to aesthetics,
Yeah.
I would say check the person out that you're going to. Like check the before and afters, check the reviews, check the legit. Ask them what products they use. They should be quite happy to share with you what products they're using. And when it comes to Botox, are you seeing a prescriber? If you're not seeing a prescriber, then that's actually illegal. If you're getting 3 areas for 50 quid, that's a no-go. That's an unlicensed product. Absolutely. You can't even get a product for that much. Are they suitably qualified? You can ask all these questions. Can you see their insurance? I know people probably feel a bit silly doing this, but you face at the end of the day. And there are some people, it's like the Wild West out there. And this is why they're bringing in regulations and people are going to have to be regulated and on a register, say. Because at the minute, the nurses and the doctors and the medics are on the NMC register or their regulatory body, whereas some of the beauticians aren't. So they don't really have the same consequences as we'd have if we weren't following protocols. So we'd be struck off the register kind of thing, whereas they don't really have that backlash. So they're going to bring out a licensing scheme, which is great. So hopefully that would be one going forward. You just be able to say, have you got a license? And then they should be adhering to all these protocols and things. But for me, it's your safety first, isn't it? So just ask your practitioner, are you insured? What products are you using? Go into detail. Like they should be able to explain to you why are they recommending this treatment, not just because it's a generic treatment. Like for example, I do skin boosters. I don't recommend the same skin boosters to every single client because every single one has something different in, and depending on what the client wants will depend on which one I recommend to them. Does that make sense?
And would that be, so this is like, well, I've got 2 more questions actually, but this is just off the back of what you've just said. So
Yeah.
you've obviously said Botox is like your most popular treatment.
Yeah.
But if there was one, and I know that this is a bit of a compromising question because there's probably not something like one thing that you would recommend to everyone, but if there was one sort of very neutral, like aesthetically pleasing treatment that you would recommend to everyone, or like women over 38 plus, what would it be?
Yeah. Skin boosters every time. I love them. Favorite treatments, but there's so many on the market as well. So like obviously the skin boosters with the polynucleotides, and if you don't know what they are, they're basically like a cell repairing treatment. So they work over like a couple of months and they repair your damaged cells and improve your skin texture, skin tone, quality. But your skin booster is like a hydrating and plumping treatment. So it's like an injectable moisturizer basically. So I just love them.
And how long do these last?
So normally you need like a course of about 2 or 3, and then every 6 to 12 months you go to maintenance. So you get one every
Okay.
6 to 12 months, but you'll know when you're ready. I mean, I've got clients who come to me more often than that because they just love how it makes the skin feel. So if I ever like give away treatments in a raffle or whatever, it's always a skin booster because I know most people, like not everyone wants like filler, do they? Most people love like a skin booster. I love doing my own.
So Casey's referring to Instagram competitions that she'll sometimes do. I am going to tag and link where to find Kay in the show notes below, but it is Revive Aesthetics. Is that right? On Instagram?
Yeah, so on
If you ever want
Instagram, it's revive_aesthetics_x.
You'll be in with a chance to get some skin boosters. Okay, last question.
Okay.
What is one thing all women listening from the perspective of beauty? What's one thing that you think every woman should be doing just to take better care of their skin? What we could all go away and just implement now?
So hard. What do you mean as like an aesthetics treatment, or do you just mean
No, just
as in
general
things?
skincare.
Just sleep and hydration and moisturize? Like I would say emoliate, obviously, every day. So your moisturizers, obviously I've got different nighttime
No,
moisturizers.
what is emoliate? Sorry.
Emollient, it's just moisturize, like
Okay.
emollient thing, with an emollient. So just keep your skin nice and hydrated.
Okay. Even
So
on
that's
even
so
under
obviously
SPF.
SPF, yeah, but I'm talking daytime and nighttime, so before you go to bed. So obviously, I've come from like a dermatology background. I'm a dermatology nurse before I left the NHS. And the one thing that we just tell all the patients to do is just emoliate, just moisturize, keep your skin nice. And it just fends off so many like skin conditions and things.
Do you do your whole body or just your face?
I would like to say I do my whole body. I don't do my whole body all the time, but I should do. Things like legs and arms and all that, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, just your whole skin, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't noticed the skin on my legs starting to change, like
Moisturise.
a lot drier. And I used to do, I mean, before kids, I would never not do a full body moisturizer out of the shower, and now I can't remember the last time.
It took time. It's making up like
Yeah,
get it all
it's
out
just
there.
time and letting it dry and all the rest of it. It's like, no, it's not
Yeah.
happening.
No, yeah, I think definitely.
I can't believe you've just said that and we've never had this conversation. I am going to start moisturizing my full body more often.
Yeah.
Like from a dermatologist's perspective, that's actually a recommendation.
Yeah. Just keep on with it. Have a look online for emollients. Are slightly thicker than a moisturizer. They don't smell as good. But again, at night, so I've got like nighttime moisturizer. I don't know, do you have like a different nighttime routine that you do to the morning?
Oh gosh, I'm dead slapdash on. I like some nights I'm all about the zen and I'm doing 3 steps of nighttime care, and other times I'm taking the light back on because I'm like, oh sugar, I'm not putting any in my face. So I've got an LED face mask and I have dug that out this year. That's been one of my little
I love
protocols.
it. I really love it, you know.
It feels amazing after it, doesn't it? I think you've got to, like anything else, you've just got to keep it up, haven't you, and be consistent.
Yeah, and it's finding that time each night again, which feels really self-indulgent when you've got like dishes to do and uniforms to iron and all that. It's just, yeah, it's fine.
So nighttime moisturizer then, give us your recommendation.
So at the minute, I'm just using the Charlotte Tilbury nighttime one, what it's called. But I like to be like oily.
Yeah.
You know, you got me a lovely oil as well for my birthday, didn't you?
So yeah, so I do have this oil, Aborian, is it called? It's Korean skincare.
Yeah, it's lovely.
That
That's
is
nice.
really thick, isn't it? That's like a real thick oil. But whenever I do use that, I wake up the next morning, I'm like, what have I done to my skin? And I'm like, oh, it's that oil.
You always look really radiant. Like when we meet in the gym in the morning, you're always like dead shiny and just gorgeous. And
Oh God, you've mentioned it about 50 times so on this podcast, and I genuinely think it's hydration.
yeah,
Well,
well,
it's got to
again,
be at this point. It's got to be, hasn't it? Well, I've loved having you on the podcast. I feel like it's going to be maybe part 1 of a 2-part conversation. But ladies, as always, thank you to those of you who've listened. If you've got any questions for Katie or you want to book in for your treatments, then where to find it is linked below. Any questions, any feedback, or any shares off the back of this week's podcast, we love to hear all about it. So do reach out and we will look forward to catching you all on next week's episode of the Nicola Graham Podcast.
bye everyone.
Bye.